Sector 9 was not a place for peace. It was dust, broken metal, and screams that echoed through thick smoke. The war between humans and aliens had reached this forgotten planet, where every step could lead to death. In the middle of a burned-out valley, a young alien girl named Lyra moved quietly with her unit. She was small compared to the others, with silver-blue skin and glowing violet eyes. Her armor was too large for her, borrowed from her dead brother. Still, she walked with courage. Her mission: clear the zone and report back. The wind howled. The air smelled like burned plastic and blood. Suddenly, boom! The ground exploded. A bright flash. Then silence. For a moment, everything stopped. Then came the scream. It was not a normal scream. It was raw, full of pain and fear, the kind of scream that made soldiers freeze. Lyra had stepped on a buried mine. The force had thrown her into the air. When she landed, her left leg was gone, torn off below the knee. Blood sprayed the dirt. She tried to crawl, but the pain was too much. "Help!" she cried. "Please!" Her own unit, 4 Zalari soldiers, stood nearby, horrified. One of them, her commander, shook his head. "She's finished," he said, coldly. "We leave her." They turned away. Lyra's heart broke more than her leg. Her people had rules. No weakness. If you fall, you are not carried. You are forgotten. She had always believed in that rule, until now. She cried out again. But no one came. The sky above her turned dark. Her vision blurred, and then footsteps, heavy, slow, not alien, human. A tall figure ran through the smoke. He had no weapon in hand, only a small medkit. His name was Noah Black, a field medic from Earth. He had heard the scream and followed it, even though the zone was marked. Hot with active minds, he saw her on the ground, bleeding, weak, alone. She saw him and flinched. "Get away!" she shouted in pain. "You're one of them!" Noah didn't answer. He dropped to his knees beside her, checking her pulse. Blood soaked the ground. "Your leg's gone," he said calmly. "If I don't stop the bleeding now, you'll die." "I don't want your help," she hissed. He looked into her eyes, steady and firm. "Tough luck," he said. "You're getting it anyway." He pulled out a small clamp and sealed her artery with quick precision. Lyra screamed, again her body shaking. He injected her with painkillers and wrapped her stump in synth fabric. "You're lucky I found you in time," he said as he worked. "I'm not lucky," she whispered. "I've lost everything." Noah paused. "Not everything," he said quietly. "You're still breathing." He lifted her in his arms. She was light, barely more than a child. The human camp was a mile away, but he didn't care. Every step was a risk. The ground could blow at any moment. "Why?" she asked weakly. "Why are you helping me?" "I'm a medic," he said. "I don't care if you're human or Zalari. Blood is blood." Lyra rested her head against his shoulder. She was cold, fading. "You're strange, human," she muttered. "And you're heavier than you look," he replied with a small grin. For the first time she smiled, just a little. When Noah finally reached the human camp, soldiers stared in shock. "Why are you carrying that alien?" one of them shouted. "She's bleeding out," Noah said. "She's not our enemy anymore. She's a patient." Command didn't like it, but Noah didn't wait for orders. He kicked open the med bay, doors, and laid Lyra on the bed. The doctors frowned but started working. Noah stayed close, holding her hand. "Don't let them send me back," Lyra said. "They'll kill me." "You're not going anywhere," he whispered. "I'll make sure of it." That night, as Lyra slept with machines keeping her stable, Noah sat beside her and looked at her stump. He already had a plan forming in his mind. If they wouldn't give her a leg, he would build one. Lyra woke up to the sound of humming machines and a strange smell, clean, cold, and sharp. She blinked slowly, her head heavy and spinning. Lights above her bed flickered softly. She tried to sit up but cried out in pain. A sharp sting shot through her body. Her hand moved to her leg. Only it wasn't there. Just thick, tight bandages. The memory hit her like a storm. The mine. The blood. Her own people leaving her behind. And the human. She turned her head. He was sitting beside her, asleep, in a metal chair, still in his dusty combat clothes. His arms were crossed and a medical scanner was resting in his lap. His face looked calm but tired. That same face she'd seen running through the fire to save her. Noah. Lyra didn't understand why he helped her. In her world, no one helped the weak. No one saved the broken. She should have been left to die. It would have been easier. A nurse entered the room and gave Lyra a warning look. "Don't move too much," she said, voice stiff. "You're lucky he brought you in when he did." Lyra glanced at Noah again. "Why?" The nurse didn't answer. Just checked a few numbers and left. A few minutes later, Noah stirred awake. His eyes met hers and he sat up straighter. "You're awake," he said softly. Lyra looked away. "You should have let me die." Noah leaned forward. "I don't let people die. Not if I can stop it." "You don't even know me," she whispered. He nodded. "You're right, but I saw someone bleeding, someone screaming, and that was enough." Lyra's voice turned cold. "Your people killed thousands of mine, and yours killed thousands of ours," Noah replied. "Doesn't mean we can't do something different, even for just one person." Lyra said nothing. Noah stood and walked to a table near the wall. He picked up something wrapped in cloth and carried it back. He unwrapped it slowly. It was a synthetic leg, silver, strong, custom designed for someone her size. Light enough to move easily, strong enough for battle. Lyra stared at it in shock. "I made this last night," Noah said. "It's not perfect, but it'll help you walk again." Her eyes narrowed. "Why would you do that for me?" He didn't answer right away. Then he looked at her and said, "Because nobody else would." Silence filled the room. Noah reached forward and gently took her arm. "Let me help you sit up. The surgery's done, but you need to learn balance again." His hands were warm, steady. But Lyra flinched. Her body shook as memories of the explosion came back. Her people had warned her about human touch. That it was dangerous, poisonous even, but his touch didn't burn. It steadied her. Still, the pain hit hard as she moved. Tears welled in her eyes. "It hurts, I know," Noah whispered. "But we go slow. We fight together." Lyra tried again. This time she sat upright. Her heart pounded fast. She looked down at the synthetic leg resting nearby. Noah followed her gaze. "I'll teach you how to walk with it, but not today. Today you rest." Lyra looked at him, confused and angry at herself. "Why do you care so much?" Noah gave a tired smile. "Maybe because I lost someone once, and I wasn't there to save them. I swore I'd never make that mistake again." His words hit her deeper than she expected. Suddenly a loud voice echoed outside the med bay. Soldiers arguing. Lyra tensed. She grabbed Noah's sleeve. "What is it?" Noah stood and looked out the small window. A group of human officers were speaking with someone with pale, glowing skin, a Zalari soldier. Lyra's eyes widened. "No. They found me." Noah closed the curtain. "I won't let them take you. But they'll come back," she whispered, voice trembling. "They'll call me a traitor, a shame." Noah placed his hand on her shoulder. "Then we give them something they don't expect." She looked up at him, her heart beating faster. "What's that?" "A fighter who stands tall, even on one leg." The rain started falling outside the med tent. Soft at first, then heavier, tapping against the metal roof like tiny drums. Lyra sat on the edge of her bed, the blanket wrapped tightly around her shoulders. Her stump still ached. Phantom pain pulsed through her missing leg. But something else hurt more. Silence from her own people. No one had come back for her. Not even to check if she was dead. She tried not to think about it, but the truth sat heavy in her chest. In Zalari culture, warriors who survived through enemy help were seen as tainted. Her honor had been stolen the moment Noah had touched her. Her chance to return home was gone. And the worst part? He had been the only one who cared. Noah stepped inside the med tent, holding a tray of food. "I brought soup. Not great, but hot." Lyra didn't respond. She stared at the floor. Noah noticed the empty look in her eyes. He set the tray down and sat beside her. "You're thinking too loud again," he said softly. "I'm not hungry." He nodded. "You don't have to be. Just don't shut down." She turned her face away. "My people think I'm impure now. They will never accept me again." Noah stayed quiet for a moment, then he said, "Maybe you don't need their approval to survive." Lyra's voice was sharp. "You don't understand. We are warriors. We don't show weakness, we don't beg. And we definitely don't cry." Noah smiled gently. "Is that why you've been holding it in for 3 days?" Lyra's jaw clenched. "Zalari don't cry." He leaned forward. "Then stop being Zalari for one night." Lyra looked at him, eyes burning with emotion she tried to hide. Her lips trembled. Her fingers clenched the blanket tighter. The pain, the betrayal, the silence, the fear, it all rose up from the dark place she had pushed it into. And then, a single tear fell. She gasped, shocked by her own weakness. She tried to wipe it fast, but it was too late. Another tear followed, then another. Her shoulders began to shake. Noah didn't say anything. He didn't try to stop her or comfort her, like a child. He just sat next to her, quiet, present. "I'm a disgrace," Lyra whispered between shaky breaths. "No," Noah said calmly. "You're a survivor." She turned her tear-stained face toward him. "Why do you keep doing this? You fixed my leg, you gave me food, you sat with me through the night, why?" He shrugged a little. "Because someone once did it for me, and I promised I'd pass it on." Lyra's breath slowed. The tears finally stopped, but her heart still felt full of questions. "What happened to them?" "They didn't make it," he said quietly. "But they told me, kindness is stronger than bullets." I didn't believe it then. I do now. Lyra looked down at the tray of soup. She picked up the spoon, hand still shaking, and took one slow sip. It wasn't good, but it was warm, and it felt more comforting than any weapon ever had. Later that night, Noah brought something strange into the med tent, a sleek metallic object. It shimmered under the dim light. "The leg?" Lyra asked. He nodded. "Final version. I use spare parts from a broken scout drone. It's flexible, shock-resistant, and lightweight. Just like you." She raised an eyebrow. "You think I'm lightweight?" He smirked. "Well, you're not exactly a tank." For the first time, she laughed. Really laughed. It was small, broken, and mixed with pain, but it was real. That night, Noah helped her strap the leg in place. The process was slow. Her nerves were still raw. The first steps would be hard. She stood with his help. Her body shook. Every step felt like walking on fire. But she didn't stop. When she fell, he caught her. When she cursed, he said, "Good, that means you're fighting." And when she finally took 3 full steps on her own, she stood still, sweating, panting, but proud. She looked at him and whispered, "Thank you." Noah just smiled. "Don't thank me yet. Tomorrow we run drills." Lyra groaned, but her heart was lighter. Her people may have left her, but one human had stayed, and somehow that meant more. The night air was heavy. Wind howled through the camp fences like a whispering ghost. Inside the med tent, the lights were dim, the machines quiet, and Lyra finally slept without pain in her leg. But her body was tense, even in rest. Her mind was not at peace. Noah sat by the tent's edge, reading a worn-out field journal. He had been assigned to another unit 2 days ago, but he kept finding excuses to check in on her. The commander didn't like it. "Aliens are not our friends. They had said. But Noah didn't care. Not after what he saw in her eyes. She wasn't a soldier anymore. She was something braver, a survivor rebuilding herself. Suddenly, a sharp sound broke the silence. A thud. Then another. Noah stood quickly. Outside, 2 human soldiers dragged in a third figure, a girl with a long coat and a black hood. Was pale, shivering and covered in blood. But that wasn't the shocking part. It was her eyes, glowing violet, just like Lyra. Noah rushed to the entrance. "Who is she?" one soldier spat. "Zilari, found hiding near the fuel station. Says she's Lyra's cousin." Noah's heart dropped. He looked back at the med tent where Lyra still slept, unaware. He turned to the girl. "Why are you here?" The cousin's voice was rough, shaking. "They sent me to bring her back." Noah narrowed his eyes. "Why now?" "She was supposed to die. She didn't. They see her as a danger now." Noah's face hardened. "What will they do to her?" "She accepted help from a human. She let you touch her. She walked on your metal." Her eyes were full of fear, but not for herself. "They sent assassins," she whispered. "They're already on their way." Noah moved fast. He entered the med tent and gently woke Lyra. Her eyes opened slowly, adjusting to the low light. "Is it morning?" she asked. "No," he said. "But you need to get up." She blinked. "Why?" He helped her sit. His tone changed. Calm but urgent. "Someone from your side is here. Your cousin. She says they're coming to kill you." Lyra's entire body went stiff. Her fingers gripped the edge of the bed. "No, they wouldn't." Noah nodded. "They would." Lyra stared at the floor, her heart pounding. "They told us humans are dangerous, that if you save us it means you want something, that you'll use us, control us." "And do you believe that now?" Noah asked gently. Lyra shook her head, tears building in her eyes. "No. You saved me when they didn't even try." Noah took a step closer. "Then we have to move. They won't let you walk out of this camp alive." "But where can I go?" she asked. "Where can I even belong now?" Noah looked her in the eyes. "You belong where people don't leave you behind." That was the moment she realized. This war wasn't just guns and soldiers. It was belief, and hers had changed. Noah helped her to her feet. The synthetic leg clicked into place. She was still learning balance, but tonight she had to move fast. Outside, the cousin waited near the back fence. "I don't have much time," she whispered. "They're close." "Come with us," Lyra said. The cousin hesitated. "I can't. I've already broken enough rules." But before she left, she handed Lyra something, a crystal chip. "What's this?" Lyra asked. "It's your family's message," she replied, voice shaking. "Your father's final words, before they declared you unclean." And then she was gone. Noah and Lyra disappeared into the shadows of the base, leaving behind the place that had saved her, but could no longer protect her. As they reached the edge of a hill, Lyra stopped to catch her breath. Noah looked at her synthetic leg. "Still holding up?" She nodded. "Better than I thought." Then she looked at him, serious and soft. "They told me humans are selfish, cruel, liars." He raised a brow. "What do you believe now?" She gave a small smile. "They warned me about humans, but they never warned me about kindness." Noah smiled back. "Kindness is the deadliest surprise." And under that alien sky, a once-lost girl and a war medic walked side by side, toward danger, hope, and whatever came next. The sun rose over the edge of the mountain, bathing the human outpost in orange light. It was the kind of quiet morning that only came after a storm. But inside the small training yard behind the med tents, chaos was brewing. Lyra stood in the middle of the open ground. Her synthetic leg gleamed under the sunlight tight against her frame. She was sweating. her chest rising and falling fast. Her arms trembled slightly, but her eyes burned with determination. Noah stood a few steps away, arms crossed. He had spent the last 2 days helping her learn balance, motion, and control. She had bruises on her elbows, cuts on her palms, but she never complained. Not once. Still, today was different. Today wasn't just about learning to walk. Today she would be tested by humans. Around them, several human soldiers had gathered. Most were curious. A few were mocking. One leaned against a crate with a smirk. His name was Sergeant Dale, a loudmouth with no patience for alien strays. "She's gonna fall on her face," he said loudly, chuckling. Lyra heard it. Her fists clenched. She looked at Noah, who gave her a short nod. "You want to prove them wrong?" he asked. "Yes," she whispered. "Then show them." Lyra took a breath. Then another. Her foot shifted. The first step was solid. The second, a bit shaky. The third, clean. She moved forward, posture straight, eyes focused on the line Noah had drawn across the yard. The soldiers murmured. "Sergeant." Dale raised a brow. "Not bad, cyborg." Lyra didn't answer. She kept walking. But when she reached halfway, a loud clank broke her rhythm. Her synthetic leg's joint caught a rock. She stumbled forward, arms flailing. Dale laughed. She hit the ground. Hard. Gasps filled the yard. Some soldiers looked away. Others shook their heads. Lyra felt the sting of dirt on her cheek, the bite of metal in her leg, the shame burning in her heart. She didn't move. Noah stepped forward but stopped when he saw her fingers dig into the dirt. Lyra slowly pushed herself up. Her elbows were bleeding, her lip was cut, but her eyes were still fierce. She stood again, this time without help. Then she looked straight at Sergeant Dale. "I'm not broken," she said. Dale scoffed. "Sure doesn't look that way." Noah stepped forward. "Want to make it fair?" he said. "One lap, you versus her. No gear, no weapons, just a test of strength." Dale smirked. "You're kidding, right?" Noah smiled coldly. "She's not." The soldiers went silent. Lyra didn't back down. She nodded once. A small line was marked in the dirt. The challenge was simple. Run to the far marker and back. A test of speed, balance, and heart. They lined up side by side. A soldier called out, "Go!" Dale took off with power. Lyra started slower, her steps more careful. Her leg made a slight hiss with every move, but she kept pace. When they turned the corner, Dale was ahead, but not by much. Then something happened. Dale slipped. His foot hit a patch of loose gravel and he lost balance. He went down face first into the dirt. Groans echoed around the yard. Lyra kept running. Her heart pounded, breath sharp. Her entire body ached. But she didn't stop. She crossed the finish line, not first, but without falling. Noah walked to her, sighed and held her steady. The soldiers watched in silence. Then, slowly, one of them clapped. Another followed. Then a third. Sergeant Dale stood up, spitting dirt. His pride was wounded more than his face. He stared at Lyra. "Maybe. Not bad," he muttered. Lyra didn't care. She looked at Noah. "I didn't win," she said. He shook his head. "You didn't need to." And then, in front of humans who once doubted her, Lyra stood tall. Her leg was metal, but her spirit was something stronger, something no weapon could crush. She had taken her first real steps, and for the first time she felt seen. The sky cracked open with thunder, not the weather, a ship, long, black, and shaped like a blade. It cut through the clouds and hovered silently above the human outpost. The guards raised their weapons. Sirens echoed across the base. The Zalari had returned. Inside the command center, alerts flashed. Officers gathered around screens shouting codes and protocols. The ship didn't fire. It simply hovered, watching. In the courtyard, Lyra stood still. She recognized the design instantly. It was a Royal Judgment cruiser, used only for high-level punishments. Her skin went cold. Her fingers trembled. "They've come for me," she whispered. Noah stepped beside her. "Then they'll have to deal with me first." "No," Lyra said quickly. "They won't talk to humans. They'll demand." As if on cue, a loudspeaker crackled. A voice, cold and sharp, echoed across the base. "Warrior Lyra of the House Tavar, step forward and face your people. You have broken the sacred codes. You will answer." Every soldier in the human camp turned to stare at her. She didn't move, not out of fear, but because inside her two worlds were colliding. One said hide, the other said stand tall. She chose the second. Lyra took a breath, stepped forward, and walked to the center of the camp where the ship's beam had landed. A shimmering circle formed on the ground. Within seconds, 3 Zalari descended, dressed in ceremonial armor, eyes filled with fire. One of them was her older brother, Kale. He looked her up and down. "You wear human metal," he said coldly. "You walk with synthetic shame." Lyra said nothing. Kale turned to the human officers. "You will release her to us. This is not your matter." Noah stepped forward before anyone else could speak. "She's under our protection," he said. "She bled on our soil. She healed in our care. She stays." Kale laughed without humor. "A human dares speak for a Zalari?" Noah didn't blink. "A medic dares speak for his patient." Kale's eyes narrowed. "You patched her flesh, but poisoned her soul. She is no longer one of us." Lyra finally raised her voice. It was steady, strong. "Then maybe that's a good thing." Kyle turned sharply. Lyra stepped closer. "You left me. You saw me fall and walked away. But this human, your enemy, he ran into fire to save me." Kyle's jaw tightened. "I lost a leg," she continued, "but I found something better." "What?" Kyle sneered. "Pity?" "No," she said. "Honor." A wave of silence fell across the camp. Even the human soldiers watched in awe. The lead officer, a gray-haired general named Briggs, stepped forward. "If this is a political matter, let the council speak. Not weapons." Kale hissed. "She belongs to us. She will be tried under Zalari code. That is final." Lyra held out her hand. "Then take me." Noah's face twisted in shock. "What are you doing?" She looked at him, eyes soft. "Trust me." As Kale reached for her, she dropped something into Noah's hand, a small crystal chip. "The message," she whispered. "Use it if I don't come back." And then she stepped into the light. The Zalari ship rose, slow and quiet, carrying her away. Back in the human base, Noah stared at the chip. His fingers curled around it. Back in the ship, Lyra stood tall before a high council of armored judges. Their eyes glowed. Their voices echoed. "You accepted help from the enemy," one said. "You used synthetic parts from Earth," said another. "You are unclean," said the third. "You are no longer Zalari." Lyra looked each one in the eye. "Then maybe the Zalari need to learn what strength really looks like." The chamber gasped. Kyle growled. "You dare insult your own blood?" "No," Lyra said. "I honor it. I am alive, and I am proud. Not because of you, but because I found something you lost a long time ago." She paused, then whispered, "Compassion." The crystal chip glowed faintly in Noah's palm. He sat alone in the human base's comms tent. The message Lyra had left playing again and again. Her voice, calm, proud, and unshaken, echoed through the room. "If you're hearing this, it means I've chosen to face them, but it doesn't mean I've surrendered." Outside, clouds gathered. The Zalari ship had vanished hours ago. No word, no contact. Noah's hands clenched into fists. He knew one thing. If she didn't return soon, she never would. General Briggs entered quietly. "Still nothing?" Noah stood. "I'm going after her." Briggs blinked. "You can't be serious." "I've broken orders before," Noah said. "One more won't hurt." Briggs gave a slow nod. "She's changed you." Noah gave a half smile. "No. She reminded me who I was." Meanwhile, inside the Zalari warship, Lyra stood in front of the tribunal for the second time. Her hands were bound in silver cuffs, not because she was a prisoner, but because she had dared to speak the truth. Cale stepped forward again. "You disgrace our name," he hissed, "but tradition gives you one last chance. You may speak before the verdict." Lyra's voice rang clear. "You say, I'm unclean because I was helped by a human, but tell me, what kind of people abandon their own when they bleed?" The room fell silent. "I lost a leg, but in its place, I gained courage. I was healed, not by machines, but by kindness. A human showed me what it means to stand when everyone else turns away." One judge leaned forward. "You admit to weakness?" "No," she said, stronger now. "I admit to surviving." Another judge said coldly, "Then you will live as an exile." Before Lyra could answer, a voice boomed across the chamber. "Not, if I have anything to say about it." The room turned. Soldiers raised their weapons, but there he was, Noah Black, standing in the center of the chamber like a storm in human form. "Guards!" Cale barked, but Lyra raised her voice. "Wait!" "He has the right to speak. He holds the crystal." Noah held up the chip. "This message was made under Zalari Witness Code. It gives me the right to represent her, so listen, because I only say this once." He stepped forward. The humans had no army here, no fleet, just him. "You think strength is about who you fight. I say it's about who you save." He looked at the judges one by one. "She was abandoned. We carried her. She was broken. We rebuilt her. She was shamed. We honored her." Noah turned to Cale. "And you? You want to punish her for surviving?" Cale stepped forward, eyes blazing. "You have no place here, human." "I didn't come for a place," Noah said. "I came for her." Then he turned to Lyra and said something that made the entire court freeze. "Come home." Lyra looked into his eyes, not as an alien, not as a soldier, but as a soul, scarred but strong, who had been reborn through pain and kindness. She took a breath and stepped forward. One step. Two. Her leg hissed quietly. Cale shouted, "Stop!" But the head judge raised a hand. "Let her walk." And walk she did, past fear, past shame, past judgment, until she stood beside Noah. He held out his hand, and she took it. The judge finally spoke. "Let it be written, the exile walks free." Weeks later, back at the human outpost, Lyra stood, in a clean uniform. Not a Zalari warrior's armor, not a human soldier's suit, but something new. A mix. Hers. She helped unload supplies now, taught first aid to wounded recruits. Her laugh could be heard sometimes, not loud, but real. Noah watched her from the corner of the yard, a small smile on his face. She saw him, walked over. "I never said thank you." "You did," he replied. "When? When you took your first step toward me." She looked down at her metal leg, then up again. "I still miss the old one." "I don't," Noah said. "This one carried you farther." Lyra nodded. "So, what now?" Noah grinned. "Now, we build something better, together." And as the sun set behind them, casting long shadows across the ground, a girl once left for dead stood tall beside the human who refused to leave her behind. The war was ending, but their bond had only just begun.